Hi everyone, it's been a really long time and I'm sort of doing this video because I took quite a long break to sort of think and decide where I want this whole YouTube journey to go, if the Lord really wants me to do this, and finally He has allowed me to be back. And so today I'll be talking about quite an interesting topic, death, because it's on my mind recently. Also because I studied a philosophy module, sort of introduction module in university, and I thought it was quite nice that I could share the thesis that I wrote for my module, my first semester. It's a very short essay, but I thought that it was such a blessing to be able to reflect and write academically on the feelings of my heart. Just nice for my final exam. So here it is, and I hope you enjoy it. So in this module we studied the human condition, and the questions that come out are: why are we human? Why do we live? What is the purpose of our lives? And we studied all the various schools of thoughts about why we exist in this world. And to me, my takeaway about the human condition is that, we have a finite time on this earth, but yet the paradox of it is that we have to spend our lives doing things that we do not like. Interesting, right? Okay, so here's what I wrote. It's on the Epic of Gilgamesh. If you're not familiar with the story, it's okay. It talks about Gilgamesh's struggle in finding immortality, and he fails to do it. And I think similarly, right, our life is bounded by death, and this conscious reality of death. I think that if we truly understand it, and if more people could grasp this concept of death, not saying that I totally understand it, then we will live our lives radically different. And I think God has a place in all of this, because we know that as Christians we have eternal life. I think for many, including myself, the easiest way out in trying to understand how long eternity is and how absolute and final it is ignorance. But I think there's more to it. The essay begins with when we repeatedly experience similar events over and over again, our minds engage in inductive reasoning and expect them to continue happening. So what I mean is that, maybe we wake up every day in the morning. We have successfully waken up every day in the morning for, the past many years of our lives. I think our minds are wired to think that, okay, tomorrow I'll wake up again. Tomorrow in the morning I'll wake up again. These events could be, simple or complex. Taking a breath of air, being in the presence of loved ones. All this the same. But when this happens, I realize that it's so easy for us to take things for granted. Things in our lives slowly become just expected to happen. And these things can happen to, this taking for granted can happen to objects, events, things, but people, relationships, family, God's forgiveness, God Himself. So I think when we become fully conscious that our perceived experiences are bounded by death, on this world of course, then suddenly they become more precious. Maybe our pursuit of immortality may not be the physical one that was depicted in the story of Gilgamesh, but our ignorance of immortality might just suggest that we're living a life of an immortal already. And I think recently I've been just thinking about what I'm going to do with my degree. So I just changed from economics to philosophy, and I hope that I will stay in that field. I think after much prayer I feel prompted that I should make the change. I realized I wasn't really happy in economics. Maybe you like it, no offense, but it just wasn't for me. And I felt that I was always putting my contentment in tomorrow when I was studying econs. Tomorrow I will get the problem set done and I'll be happy. Tomorrow I will clear this economics math module and everything will be good. It'll be better. Tomorrow I will graduate from econs and earn good money. Tomorrow I will get off this job that is so tiring and get my pay. And I think, hey, why am I always postponing my contentment when I'm studying this? do I really want to live a life where I postpone my contentment to tomorrow? I think that has serious implications on where God is working in my life in terms of being grateful for things that He gives me, because my hope is in tomorrow, but where God meets me is in my now. On this whole timeline of eternity, my present moment is where time meets eternity and God meets me, and it's the only place where I live in where I'm able to encounter God. But if my hope is not in now, in where God puts me now, but my hope is in tomorrow, then would I really have lived? And so I decided, okay, I'm going to make a change. Maybe make me happier, maybe or not, but just decided to do it with God's blessings, of course, I hope. And I think it's quite morbid, right? But just like any other philosophical discourse, and we can choose to walk away or stay in the problem. You can ask questions like, oh, this shouldn't be like this story shouldn't even be like this, but then we can walk away. But I think when we realize this, then somehow for me, I think God's presence in my life, in my present moment, became much more real. And so I think how to be happy. A lot of times in my life I say, okay, God, I trust you with my eternal life. I go to Mass, I do many things for my eternal life. But why is it so hard to surrender my present moment? And in reflection, I think that I don't have my eternal life to give God right now. I don't have my future to give Him. And it's so easy to give God something that I don't have, right? I can give God my eternal life. I can give God my future because I don't have it in my hands yet. I'm not holding it yet, but my present moment is the only thing that I'm holding in my hands, and it's so hard to give to God because I have it. It's like clutching onto it. Yeah, and I begin to realize how God was inviting me in this season to be thankful for the little things, to be thankful for the small things. I think if God can trust a woman or a man in the little things, what more can be trusted in the bigger things? I'm convinced that we make our own miseries, and it's not that God doesn't bless. I'm also convinced that we can be happy in any state of our lives. There's always the relative lacking that makes us sad. But actually this same relative could be turned into relative abundance. The relative abundance that I have can be my joy, my gratitude. I think I could always look back at uni life being hard, but whenever I recall me in army, guard duty on weekends, okay, I better not say anything already. I think that's how God has been working in my life recently, reflecting on death, which is a huge struggle. But in acknowledging the shortness of my life, make us know the shortness of our life, the beautiful psalm. He has swept me away. I really love the sun. In the early morning it blooms, but in the evening it withers and fades. Have a blessed week, friends.